Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we're looking at one of my favourite radar app stroke website, Dark Sky. So there's plenty of these radar websites or radar apps available. The reason I like Dark Sky is for a couple of reasons, which I'll run through in a minute. Just a quick thing to mention. During last year, Dark Sky was taken over by Apple, which means unfortunately there isn't an app available for any devices that don't run iOS, so basically anything that's not an iPad or an iPhone. The website's still available, but if you do want the app version, then you're going to need an iOS device. I'm going to put a link in the description for a time code for when we go through the app, so if you're just interested in the app, you can jump to that now. But going onto the website, address is darksky.net. It's got quite a clean layout and interface. If you want to select your location, you can either click on this arrow here to the left and allowing it to use your location. Then you find your location that way, or you can simply just type your location or any location you want to search for into the bar at the top and then select it from there. I'm blurring out what's coming up in this bar because when you're connected to Wi-Fi like I am now, it's quite precise on your location, and obviously I don't want my exact location spread all over the internet. It has the normal features which most weather sites have, the current conditions, its forecast. If you scroll down, you've got a weekly forecast. I don't tend to use it for those features. I don't find them particularly accurate, to be honest, and there's other sites or apps which I find are better for that functionality. I use the Apple website just really for the radar functions, and there's a couple of reasons for this. Like I said, the first is I just like the colour scheme. I like the way it shows the different intensities of precipitation. You start off with the lightest blues showing the lightest, then you go into darker blues like up here when it's getting heavier, then you move into the reds and oranges, the brighter oranges as it's getting really heavy, and the heaviest is shown by white. So I like the colour scheme. The other function I like on this is these arrows. And this shows in what direction everything's moving in based on the information it's got there. So we can see here like this really heavy area here is drifting in a east-southeasterly direction heading towards the Medway towns. So if you're in the Medway towns and you're about to go out, or like a lot of people are doing now, they're looking to see if any, because this at the moment is coming in as snow because we're in the middle of a cold snap. If you're a snow lover and you're in this area, you're looking out for this because this is an area of heavy snowfall which is coming your way. Of course it has its limitations, the wind direction can change, so I wouldn't be taking much notice of all this stuff over here because by the time it reaches land the wind direction could have changed, in which case obviously it's going to come in a different direction. But for a local area it's quite useful. Like I said, if you're snow watching, or even if you just about go out and you're thinking, can I get out and back before I'm going to get soaking wet in the rain, it's a useful function. So the colour scheme, like I said, and these directional arrows are the two main functions that I find useful. I also find it's very accurate. It renders quickly. I haven't had any problems either on the website and the app with it being slow, unresponsive, lagging any sort of way, which I've had in a few other apps. So I found it quite a good, useful, complete app. Aside from the radar, there's a few other screens which bring out some information which I use less frequently than the radar, but is quite useful. You access them by clicking on this arrow here. The ones I tend to use are temperature and feels like temperature, especially when it's very hot or very cold, because this probably actually gives a more accurate representation of the conditions you're experiencing. There are others on there, but I tend not to use them. These will be the two I use. You have a choice between centigrade and Fahrenheit. You can select the time from this menu here, or you can click forwards in 3-hour increments. Of course, when you start going forwards, it's forecast data. So as with anything when you're looking forwards, don't go too far forwards in the future because then your accuracy starts dropping off. You can also go back in time, and once you go past your present time, you look at historic data, and this button here just brings you to the current time. So that's the website. Now we're going to have a look at the app, which I said is only available on iOS. So I've got the app open. This is on iPhone. It's also available on iPads, and there's a companion Apple Watch app. Unfortunately, the app's not free. It currently costs £3.99 in the UK. I personally don't buy a huge number of apps, but this was one that I thought was well worth the outlay. So as with the website, a very clean, minimalistic design to the app. Going from top to bottom, at the top you have your location. By clicking on the magnifying glass, you can search for your location or any other location you're looking for. You have the share button if you want to share any of the images, and then you have your options for changing your units. Obviously, as I'm in the UK, I'm going to switch to Celsius, miles and miles per hour. Then you have your current conditions and the temperature and the feel like temperature. You have a small window showing the current radar, and then you have the forecast functionality where you can look at the temperature, predicted for the future, feel like temperature, and a few other variables. As with website, I don't use this a huge amount. I mainly use this app for the radar, so that's what I'm going to be concentrating on. So as you can see, the radar is quite small in this screen, but if you click onto the map tab, then you get a full screen version of the radar, which, as you can see, you can zoom in and out of, scroll around the screen, and clicking this arrow brings you into your current location, and then you can zoom in as close as you like. There's one functionality which isn't available on the website. It's down the bottom here. By either clicking on the playhead and then clicking pause to stop it, you can scroll forward into the future, and this is basically what the app's predicting is coming your way in regard to participation. Again, as I said about the arrow function on the website, take this with a pinch of salt when you start getting towards 2 hours ahead, which is the furthest ahead it gets. Things can change, but I tend to find if you're looking to maybe a half to an hour ahead, it's pretty accurate in predicting what might be heading your way. And again, that can be useful if you're snow watching like a lot of us now, like I said, or if you just want to be able to get out and you want to be able to get out to the shops or wherever and back without getting soaking wet. So a very useful function, very visible, and of course going backwards takes you back in time, so you can kind of have a look at what's come over. Now that's a brief overview of Dark Sky, both on the web and as an app. What do you think of it? Do you agree with me? Do you like the colour scheme like I do? Do you like the minimalistic layout? Do you like the functionality of the radar where it shows where the participation is heading towards, so you can kind of see if it's heading in your area? Let me know in the comments below. If not, if you don't like Dark Sky, what apps or websites do you use to see radar images? Hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Until next time, take care and bye for now.